Okay, let's talk here. Christian guys, let me talk to you for a second here. Stop watching porn! Okay? Okay, got that out of my system here. Let's get down to business. I made a video recently about reasons for Christian guys to stop watching porn. And I think they were very good reasons. And I want to start expanding on those just a little bit here. And right now I'm going to be talking about the first reason I gave, which is just plain and simple, obedience to God. And that, in my mind, is the most important reason. There are other reasons too. I mentioned your relationship with God, which is related, but distinct, and also your relationships with others and with yourself and all that good stuff. But right now, I want to expand on obedience to God, and I want to kind of shift into the idea of costly obedience, or in other words, obedience when you don't want to, when it costs you something, when it's a sacrifice, when it's not in line with what you want to do, or even with your goals in life or anything like that. And that has implications far beyond pornography, but I'm talking about pornography right now because that doesn't get as much attention as I think it should. So applies to pretty much whatever, but I'm specifically focused on pornography right now. And this is an area where that concept really isn't even quite as relevant, it would seem on the surface, because now it's coming out that, yeah, pornography is costly. The pornography is the thing that is taking away from you. Obedience to God, in this case, gives you so much more. But because it feels like you are giving something up, and because it feels like you're losing something, because your body doesn't want you to make this decision and get free of this, this mindset is very helpful, and it's something that I feel is just indispensable in your walk with God. And your obedience to Jesus Christ is to be able to obey when you don't want to, and even when it's not the best thing for you in this life. Which, believe me, quitting porn is the best thing for you in this life. As far as whether or not to watch porn, quitting is the better option there. But once you're at the point where you can say, okay, maybe this is all a joke. Maybe what people say about the negative effects of porn, maybe all that's not true. Maybe the benefits of quitting porn are imaginary, it's a placebo, whatever. And maybe I really am missing out on something really good by quitting. Well, maybe all that's true, but so what? God says don't do it, and so my job as a follower of God is to follow Him and obey, no matter what the cost is. That, stepping into that mindset there, had a big role in me finally getting free of it last year. And it's a huge thing, and you can't really understate the importance of it. And like I said, this ties into the rest of your walk with God and all that. It's a really important concept to get, that God's way is better than your way. It's better than anybody else's way. It's better than the world's way. It's better than anything that anybody else or anything else could ever offer you. And it is just the way to go, plain and simple. You don't need to come up with all these other reasons and justifications to live the way that God calls us to. It's great to have other reasons and stuff like that. The more motivation, the better. But it's not necessary. And it's probably not going to be the primary motivator for a lot of people. As far as Christians are concerned, the primary motivator for our life needs to be what is going to please God, what is going to glorify God, and what is going to be loving to others. Those are kind of our priorities. What's best for us in our own personal life, that's more secondary. It's good to have, all these benefits and things like that, but that's kind of just the icing on the cake there. It's not the substance of our existence. We're not here for ourselves. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward there. When you're tempted, when you want to fail and go back into the sin, when you want that more than anything else in the world, you have to be able to say, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to give all of that up and say, yeah, I'm going to just take the pain of self-denial for now and just do what God says to do, no matter how much it sucks, no matter how much it feels like it sucks, rather. And just obey. You don't have to justify it to yourself. You don't have to even consider your options or anything like that. In fact, the more you try to think about it and try to think about, well, maybe I can compromise here, maybe this really isn't so bad, the more you think about it, the more likely you are to slip up and fall back in. And then you'll feel the same way you did before. You feel guilty about it. You wish you hadn't made that decision. You're like, man, why am I so stupid? Why did I? And that's where Satan tries to come in and make you feel like you're not good enough to quit and you're not really a follower of God, stuff like that. There's this huge back and forth, this huge convoluted strategy and all that garbage that you just don't want to go into. So you need to be at a point where you say, no, God says no, so I'm not going to do it, and just end the discussion there. Don't even have the little debate going on in your mind about what you should do and what you can do. Just obey, and that's it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's very simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. It's definitely a battle. It is something that you have to fight and wrestle with. But you know what you have to do. And you know what the enemy is trying to do. And you know that's pretty much it. You know your duty as a Christian. And yeah, that's to obey. And over time, as you continue to do this, I think that your will is going to begin to line up with God's. As you start to see more of His plan, as you start to see how good it really is, then you're going to start to really genuinely want to do what God wants you to do. But the sacrifice has to come first. I don't think that people can wait around hoping that one day they'll become theologically educated enough, or have been a Christian long enough, or have memorized enough Bible verses that suddenly their desires are going to line up with what God wants. I think you have to make the sacrifice first, and then that transformation takes place later on, as you become more mature and as you become more obedient. And it really is great once that transformation does take place. At this point, I really don't even want to watch porn, because my wants are more in line with God's wants than they were before. So I'm like, yeah, this is a bad thing. I don't need to do that. It's not going to make me happy or anything like that. And I want to share this with other people. I mean, that's why I'm talking here. So definitely start fighting now. Get into that mindset of obedience. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you get serious and start making sacrifices, the sooner this battle is going to get easier. And it never ends, really. But it does get easier as your desires begin to conform to God's desires, and you start really living the life that He has for you. So take that step, get started, and get into the fight. So that's pretty much it. I'm bad at conclusions, so I'm just gonna cut off that speech right there. Say, pray all the time. I'm praying for you guys. Believe that, like, really, I'm praying for you guys all the time about this. This is really important to me. It's really close to my heart, this whole issue. And yeah, God bless you guys. Have a good day, and stop watching porn. Take it easy. I'll talk to you later.